Yo, welcome back. It's Colton Lindsay. If you haven't been to my channel before, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. This is one of my favorite types of videos to make. It's because I get to watch some cool content that my team put together and I get to review it. Today we got Leila Hormozi. I'm an absolute huge fan of her and Alex. And so I'm stoked that no matter even if you watch this video or not, or only 7 of you watch it, or 7,000, I don't care. I get to learn from this. But go ahead and drop comments down below as we go through it because I want to see what your takeaways are as well. But let's dive into it.
Your audience? No. Good example of this is Mr. Beast. We had a conversation, Alex and I, where we were like, wow, it'd be amazing if he pushed something like an energy drink. And when we talked to him about it, we were like, man, we still feel like that would be such a good product for you. Like, I know you've got chocolate, but like this would be such a good product. It's like mass market. He said something that was really important, which he was like, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in giving kids caffeine. I don't want to push things that aren't good for them. He's like, you know, my chocolate only has a few ingredients and that's why I'm proud of putting it out there. And that in that split second was such an important moment because it showed that he would never represent something that he didn't actually believe in. A lot of people don't have that discipline. They just look at the product with the biggest margins and then they pick that. And it just sets you up for failure in the long term.
I completely agree. And I think that has to do with alignment of what your core values are. I know in my business, when I am super aligned with core values, we have fat margins and fat success. And now I have let our values waver at times where I've let products slip in that I thought I believed in, but with time I saw it wasn't a full alignment and it actually hurt our business. So I completely agree with this. Hopefully you take this and you don't mess it up like I did and have to have an expensive lesson. But I absolutely agree with what she has to say.
The World Economic Forum estimated that AI will replace 85 million jobs by 2025. A reminder that 60% of the jobs that exist today did not exist a generation ago. So then the question is, what jobs are going to be eliminated and which ones are going to be created? The top 3 that seem the soonest to be eliminated are the following. First is a customer service rep. We are already so close to automating customer service, and this is of low dollar transactions, right? So I'm not talking about people that buy things that are $40,000, but people that buy things that are a few dollars, $20, $40, $50. That job is very soon going to be able to be automated, especially now that voice AI and video AI are coming. The second is data entry. The reason that this is being pursued so much by AI companies is because there's so much room for human error in data entry that it is a high ROI investment of the technology to put it towards that. Third is courier services. What that means is delivering packages, delivering mail, things like that. Starship Technology has been doing this since 2017, where it's replaced all of its couriers with robots and droids.
I feel like we're living in a sci-fi, no joke, when it comes to artificial intelligence, and I was really resistant to it, and I still use AI inside of my business a lot of the times now because it is about how do we condense time, be more effective and more efficient, and increase our margins. And if I think that way, don't you think that the world's probably going to think that way as well? And it's probably true. So how does that affect you? Well, I do think it's going to be creating new jobs. I think it's how can people work with AI to make it even more effective, even more efficient in utilizing it. Just because you have a bunch of tools in the tool belt and you take out a hammer to saw a piece of wood, you're not going to get the result. So not all AI is created the same way. It has to have a specific outcome and someone that currently inputs the commands. But as the technology continues to develop, trust me, innovation always creates opportunity, and there will be plenty of opportunity throughout the process. But 85 million jobs, that's quite a bit.
The one thing that you're accomplishing in the 0 to 1 million phase is learning to consistently sell something over and over again to the same audience. The reason that most people fail here is 2 things. One, they have no idea what the fuck they're doing because they've never done it before. But the second reason is because they don't know how to consistently sell something to the same person through the same channel, and they tend to diversify too quickly. Gym Launch, for example, had one channel, one avatar, one way of acquiring customers and selling them until we hit $30 million. $30 million in annual revenue. We stayed on the same shit. And so that's what people tend to lack is the consistency.
I completely agree, especially sub 7 figures. The number one thing that will mess up your business is your next great idea. All of my biggest challenges in business started out with a great idea. Now, in today's world, we are forced to innovate. The messaging that we're using today is not the same messaging we used 12 months ago in business. For example, the phrases that are helping message into our marketing today that catches are agent attraction, consistent income, financial security, financial certainty, more peace, more balance, finding agents that roll up their sleeves and go to work. These are what our consumers are looking for today, since our consumers are actual real estate agents that want to build a 7-figure residual income in the agent attraction space, whether that's infopreneurship or building their network. And so there are things that have to innovate and shift, but the vehicles in which we're delivering the message are the same. It's the 4 core. It is doing our warm audience, it's doing content, it's doing paid ads, and then it's retargeting them through our email list to a single call to action that brings them to a triage call, gives them a sales presentation, and ultimately offers them one of our products. And the products do have to innovate and shift just a little bit, but the vehicle and the direction all stays the same right now. And the moment that you can start to get off course and innovate too much, it may be a problem. But that doesn't mean it absolutely will. At some point, you must innovate. Think about that.
It would be so easy if you just asked your customers what they wanted. I had this conversation the other day. There was someone who was saying that their advertising was slowing down. Myself being from the fitness industry, kids are out of school now. Moms are focused on their kids for these couple of weeks. And usually there's like a 3-week slump. And this person was like, I need to change all these things. I'm like, no. Speak to your customer. Because the more that you really understand your customer, the better you can make your product and the more that your marketing speaks to them. Because you can message it to what's relevant and top of mind to them right now, not what was 6 or 12 months ago.
That's so funny she just brought that up. I feel like a parrot. I feel like I just said that based on her last video that I was watching. That get the messaging down and give them the message in your marketing. The vehicle stays the same. What she's talking about is what's called research and development or market research. We used to do this about every 6 months, but because the economy is shifting so quickly, we do this every 30 days. In fact, we're constantly reaching out, asking our top clients, what do they want even more of in business? What do they need even more of in business? What do they love about it? What do they hate about it? What's hooking them on social media so that we can begin to create that content? And I can guarantee you the number one thing that is hooking you right now is even more consistent cash flow. How do I know this? Well, odds are, if you follow my channel, it's very likely that you are interested in a real estate business or you're interested in making money. And if that's the case and you've been in real estate for a while, your income is down right now and you want a sense of certainty going forward. You can absolutely do that through agent attraction. How do I know that? Because of exactly what she's talking about. Research and development. Create a marketing research plan so you understand the patterns and words of what your customers want, deliver it in the message, and then give them a way to fulfill on it.
You have to really be intentional remotely to build a culture. You have to be able to figure out ways to manufacture organic conversations that you would be having if you had an in-person office. If you want people to work remotely, you need people who have more ability to self-regulate because you're not there to regulate them on a consistent basis. And so I think a lot of companies fail at the pick. They pick people who need to be highly regulated, highly watched. They need a lot of direction. It's always going to be an uphill battle if you don't pick the right kind of people from the get-go.
I think everything is about selection process when it comes into a relationship. That could be a relationship with a spouse. That could be a business partnership. That could be someone that you hire. It could even be a customer. You're starting a relationship, and the selection process is 95% of the process. Are they a team? Do they show up? Are they coachable? Do they have feedback? Are they action takers? Are they willing to get to work themselves and roll up them sleeves? Or are they consistently inappropriately lazy? They need their hands slapped. They need to have their feet held to the fire. They're entitled and maybe even a gossiper full of drama and maybe even dishonest. The reality is people that need regulated are not a fit for any culture, in my opinion, that I want to be a part of that's thriving. I want people that are going to get up out of bed and go fulfill what they want to create today, not because I told them to do it, because that's what they want. That's what they're important. And my idea is to build a relationship with them that we can both advance, we can both succeed, we can both grow in that direction. So if you're going to be building a remote team, I completely agree. Build it around a culture and evangelize in such a way what 18 players are. And I can promise you when you stop evangelizing, because I've experienced this in my own company, it will fall off. But if you're consistent and never ending in the evangelism of a team, people show up that way and you'll be able to not hire the C team players because you recognize it so much quicker.
How much money do you make? And then how much money does it cost you to make that money? And so you want to track those month over month. That's what you would call a P&L. I don't think that it's important that you learn this yourself. I think it's important that you learn how to read a profit and loss statement. Do you need to know how to create one? No. And I actually think it's a little bit of a waste of time for you to do that. You can outsource this for a couple $100 a month, and then you can focus on using those numbers to drive more sales, drive more marketing, and drive more people into the business.
P&L statement is the number one overlooked process in business freedom that I have seen in the real estate space. Look, I know the magic number is $20,000 a month in residual income will set you free for the rest of your life. It'll give you financial security, it'll give you peace and balance, and it'll allow you to feel comfortable and confident even when life kind of sucks. But you're never going to make that happen unless you can understand the difference in your expenses. Because at your level, more than likely, if you're sub 7 figures, or even if you are 7 figures, You're taught to reduce your taxes by having expenses in the business. And so you go to Costco or you buy something on Amazon, and it's not even for the business, it's for you, but you call it office supplies. That becomes an expense. That expense, though, isn't really an expense for the business. But if you're not separating actual expenses from owner benefits, you're not going to know where your profit margins are. But when you know how to read a P&L statement, you can make decisions based off the facts, off the numbers. Now, P&Ls are a snapshot of what happened. If you're looking at the snapshot once a quarter, you're too fucking far behind. Once a month is even starting to possibly be too far behind, especially if you're a seven-figure, multiple seven-figure business. You should be looking at those P&Ls every 15 days or every week if you're really, really wanting to be dialed in on what your net profit is, what your gross profit is, but ultimately, what are the expenses that are getting returns on investments, which are not, so that you can expand the business. All right, thanks for watching today. I want to hear your comments or read your comments down below. Smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. If you're into building wealth and you're a real estate agent, you want to create agent attraction, this is the place to be. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.